world often admires the people at the top, but what happens when those at the very top, the ones who make the big decisions, step into the shoes of the workers beneath them? What if the leader is forced to see up close the cracks in his empire, the quiet suffering of the people who keep it running? Today we'll dive into a story of a CEO who, for the first time in years, decided to walk among his staff as one of them, and what he uncovered forever changed the course of his company. Brian Jack Hawkins wasn't like most CEOs. He wasn't the type to hide behind a desk in a high-rise building, nor did he surround himself with layers of assistants or managers. Jack believed in understanding his business at its core. He had built his restaurant empire from scratch, starting with a small family-owned diner that quickly grew into one of the most popular dining chains in the city. Jack was 45, tall and fit, with a face that held years of experience. His blue eyes were always calculating, always looking for the next challenge. But beneath that sharp exterior, Jack had a heart for the people who worked for him. After all, without them, he wouldn't have achieved what he had. Or so he thought. It had been months since Jack had last set foot inside one of his restaurants, and something in his gut told him it was time for a visit. But this time, he wasn't going to sit in the VIP booth, savoring his food and listening to the staff praise him. No, this time Jack was going to work as one of them. He put on a simple black polo shirt, a pair of jeans, and his oldest sneakers, blending in with the waiters and cooks. No one in the restaurant would recognize him, not unless they saw the hint of familiarity in his eyes. And that's exactly what he wanted. The restaurant was buzzing with energy as usual. The smell of sizzling steak and freshly baked bread filled the air, and the clinking of silverware echoed throughout the dining room. It was a Saturday evening, and the place was packed. Jack took his position in the back, near the kitchen, where the servers hustled to and fro, carrying plates piled high with food. His first task? He was assigned to serve tables. His colleague, Carlos, a lanky young man with a nervous smile, handed him a tray full of drinks and pointed to his first table. Jack walked towards it, his heart pounding with an unfamiliar sense of nervousness. But it wasn't the customers that made Jack nervous. It was the employees. The staff didn't seem to notice him at first, lost in their routines, moving fast as they took orders, refilled drinks, and handled complaints. But Jack was quick to pick up on the small things. The way some servers seemed to shuffle back and forth, avoiding the manager's eyes. The quiet tension in the air when the restaurant's head chef Marcus walked past, and the loud, unchecked frustration that was simmering in the voices of the line cooks. Jack had always thought his restaurant was a well-oiled machine, a model for how businesses should operate. But now, watching the chaos unfold in real time, he started to see things differently. He realized the truth was darker. The restaurant, once his pride, was slowly falling apart. Jack's first emotional twist came when he overheard a conversation between two waiters during a slow moment. One of them, a man named Greg, was telling his colleague that he had been working overtime without extra pay for months. "I'm just waiting for the day I can't do this anymore," Greg said, his voice low, almost defeated. "But what choice do I have? It's not like they care. They don't even ask if we need help. Just keep pushing, keep working." Greg's words stung like a slap in the face. Jack had no idea his employees were feeling this way. Sure, he'd heard murmurs of discontent before, but it always seemed to fade. Now, standing in their shoes, the reality hit him like a ton of bricks. He took a deep breath and walked back to the kitchen, where the atmosphere was no better. Chef Marcus was screaming at one of the cooks over a burnt dish. The kitchen staff looked terrified, their movements stiff and mechanical as they worked quickly to keep up with the pace. Jack, in his new position as a waiter, started to feel the weight of the restaurant's pressure on his shoulders. He could feel the tension in the air, the exhaustion in the eyes of the servers, and the nervous energy of the cooks trying their best to meet expectations. Yet no one seemed to care about the people doing the work. It was all about getting the food out, serving the customers, and making the sales numbers. But then, something unexpected happened. The second twist came when Jack was in the middle of serving a table, carrying a plate of food. He overheard a conversation between the manager, Brenda, and one of the cooks. Brenda was talking about how Jack had been gone for too long, how he didn't understand the pressure they were under. If he came back down here, he'd see we're drowning. But no, he's too busy playing the big shot in his office, Brenda sneered, her voice thick with resentment. The realization hit Jack harder than he expected. Brenda, who had been with the company for years, had felt abandoned. She felt like no one cared about the struggle she and the rest of the staff were enduring every day. And Jack hadn't even noticed. For the first time, Jack felt a deep wave of guilt wash over him. How had he let it get to this point? How had he been so blind to the struggles of his team, the people who had helped him build this empire? Jack took a step back and went to the storage room, trying to gather his thoughts. There he sat on a crate, his hands trembling. He thought about the sacrifice his employees had made. He thought about their loyalty and the loyalty he had failed to show in return. That's the story, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure sharing it with you all. Don't forget to comment below and let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see the global reach of these stories. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories, tips, and tricks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. If you'd like to show some extra love, tap the 3 dots near the share button and send a super thanks.